Good morning, everyone. I'm Sofia Arcelia from Group 3, and I'm here to talk about the heart and blood vessels. So, first, let's talk about the main layers of the heart, which are the pericardium, endocardium, and myocardium. First up is the pericardium. So, the pericardium is a fibrous serous sac that encloses the heart and the roots of the great vessels. Its function is to restrict excessive movements of the heart as a whole and to serve as a lubricated container in which the different parts of the heart can contract. The pericardium is divided into two parts: the fibrous pericardium, which is the fibrous part of the sac that acts as a main protection of the heart, and the serous pericardium, which lines the fibrous pericardium. The serous pericardium can also be subdivided into two layers, the parietal and the visceral. The parietal layer lines the fibrous pericardium and is reflected around the roots of the great vessels to become continuous with the visceral layer of the serous pericardium that closely covers the heart. Meanwhile, the visceral layer is closely applied to the heart and is often called as the epicardium. The next main layer of the heart is the myocardium, which is the thick middle layer of the heart and is composed of cardiac muscle cells and is responsible for the contraction of the heart chambers. Histologically, the myocardium consists of cardiomyocytes, which are very rich in glycogen deposits and mitochondria. This has a great functional significance since the myocardium is constantly contracting and needs a great amount of energy at all times. The last layer is the endocardium. It is the smooth inner surface of the heart chambers that consists of simple squamous epithelium over a layer of connective tissue. It allows blood to move easily through the heart, and the heart valves are formed by folds of the endocardium that include a thick layer of connective tissue. Its two layers are the inner layer, which lines the heart chambers and is made of endothelial cells, and the second layer, which is a subendocardial connective tissue that is continuous with the connective tissue of the myocardium. Note that the second layer is superior to the inner layer. Let us now move on to the supporting tissues of the heart, or the cardiac skeleton. The cardiac skeleton, or the heart's fibrous skeleton, is a fibrous structural support for the heart chambers. It is not bony like the human body's actual skeleton. The cardiac frame is composed of a dense connective tissue network that forms a fibrous skeleton which separates the atria from the ventricles. It also reinforces the myocardial walls internally and anchors the cardiac muscle. The fibrous skeleton is composed primarily of collagen, which is a protein found in every type of connective tissue in the human body. It provides a great amount of structural and functional support for the valves of the heart by enabling them to stay open, provide a point of attachment to the wall of the heart, and separate the flow of electrical impulses. The cardiac skeleton consists of four bands of dense connective tissues called fibrous rings. They surround the base of the pulmonary trunk, aorta, and the mitral and tricuspid valves. These rings encircle the bases of the heart. Next are the blood vessels. So blood vessels are channels where blood passes through to circulate the body. It has three main types: arteries, veins, and capillaries. The first type of blood vessels are arteries. They carry oxygenated blood away from the heart and to the body's tissues and organs. They are tough on the outside, but they contain a smooth interior layer of epithelial cells that allow blood to flow easily. Arteries also contain a strong muscular middle layer that help pump blood throughout the body. It begins with the aorta, which is the largest artery, then it branches several times, becoming smaller and smaller as they carry blood further from the heart. The three types of arteries are the elastic arteries, muscular arteries, and the arterioles. The elastic arteries are the largest. The muscular arteries are responsible for distributing blood to the various parts of the body, and the arterioles are the smallest and they deliver blood to the capillaries. The second type of blood vessels are veins. They are small branches that collect the blood from the organs of the body and returns the oxygenated blood back to the heart. It becomes larger and larger as it gets closer to the heart. The largest veins are the inferior and superior vena cava. Veins can be further classified by size, namely small, medium, and large. The last type of blood vessels are the capillaries. They are the smallest vessels. This is where product exchange of oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrients, and waste occur between blood and tissues. In other words, these are small and thin blood vessels that connect arteries and veins. The capillaries form a complex network of thin, anastomosing tubules called the microvasculature or microvascular bed. Their thin walls allow oxygen, nutrients, carbon dioxide, and waste products to pass to and from the tissue cells. There are three types of capillaries, and they are continuous, fenestrated, and sinusoidal. Continuous capillaries are found in muscle tissues, connective tissues, and nervous tissues, as well as in the skin, respiratory organs, and exocrine glands. Fenestrated capillaries have large openings in the cytoplasm of endothelial cells, and they are designed for the rapid exchange of molecules between blood and tissues. Sinusoidal capillaries are blood vessels that exhibit irregular, tortuous paths appearing to be much wider than other capillaries. Next, let's differentiate Purkinje fibers from cardiac muscles. Purkinje fibers are larger in size and they are found in the subendocardium. On the other hand, cardiac muscles are found in the myocardium. Purkinje fibers are connected together by desmosomes and gap junctions compared to other cardiac muscles that are attached by intercalated discs. As for their functions, Purkinje fibers receive conductive signals originating from the atrioventricular node, and it activates the left and right ventricles by stimulating the ventricular myocardium. Meanwhile, the other cardiac muscles are tasked to work to keep the heart pumping, and this is done through specialized cells called pacemaker cells, which control the contractions of the heart. Now let's discuss the last topic, which is the impulse conduction of the heart. So heartbeat begins in the sinoatrial node, which produces electrical conduction which will be received by the atrioventricular node. Through the moderator band on the right, the atrioventricular bundle from both left and right will receive the impulse. Each branch of the atrioventricular bundle eventually becomes the Purkinje fibers, which transmit electrical impulses to the ventricular myocardium, and this will cause ventricular contraction, which will eventually cause the contraction of the heart, making it able to pump blood and supply to the body. And that's all for today. Thank you for listening.